As a matter of fact, I believe the chief baker was the one that was killed shortly after that. But the chief butler went on doing his own thing. He forgot about Joseph, and he promised that he would remember Joseph and put in a word for him to the king to help him get out of prison, but he forgot about it. But then, lo and behold, God gave Pharaoh a dream. And nobody in the kingdom could interpret that dream. He called on his magicians, his astrologers, all of those type of psychic type of people that they use to interpret dreams at that time, but none of them could interpret his dream. So then Pharaoh was upset, and he was seeking among the kingdom, is there anyone here that can interpret my dreams? It's something about this dream, I can't get over it. I need somebody to interpret the dream. And finally, the butler remembered, there is someone. There's a Jew that's locked up, a Hebrew. His name is Joseph. He's in prison. He interpreted our dreams. He can interpret yours. So the king sent for Joseph. Joseph came back out of prison. And the king asked him to interpret his dream. Come on, king. The king asked him to interpret his dream. And when the king told him his dream, he said that dream means going to be 7 years of lean years, and 7 years of fruitful years, and 7 years of lean years. He said what you need to do in the 7 fruitful years, you need to store all of the property and everything, the crops and everything you have. The grain, store everything up. So that when the 7 lean years, which represented 7 years of famine comes, he said then you'll have food in your kingdom and you won't have to worry about it. So the king gave him in charge. Said, you're not going back to jail. I'm going to put you in charge of this project to help us get through the 7 years of famine that's going to come up. If you prepare us for this and this thing work out, you're going to be my right-hand man. So the king put him in charge. Thank you, king. Pharaoh put him in charge. And so now Joseph is back out of jail and he's in position to really be blessed. And so he does it. He does all the work of getting all the servants together to store all the grain and everything that while they had the 7 years of plentiful years, so that when the 7 years of famine came, everywhere else in the land was in famine or famished except Egypt because of Joseph. And so the king said, Joseph, because you have allowed your God to help us through these years of famine, he said, I'm going to promote you to be over everybody in the kingdom. Only me. I'll be the only person that's over you, but you're going to be over everybody in the kingdom. Now, the reason that was so awesome is that, number one, he wasn't Egyptian. He was a Jew. And the Jews were considered enemies of the Egyptians. They didn't even like them. They used them as slaves. But he received such mercy and grace from Pharaoh. Pharaoh said, I'll put you in charge of every Egyptian here. You're over all of my captains of my army. You're the #1 man next to me. And so during those 7 years of famine, where those brothers at? I need you to come back, brothers. All the brothers, come on back real quick. You got an encore performance here, but it's a little bit different. All those brothers were sent by Jacob, their father, because they were starving back home. They didn't have any food. So he said, I need you all to go to Egypt. Now, they didn't know, they had no idea that Joseph was in charge now. They said, his father said, take money, take whatever you can find. We need to get them to give us some food to eat and go and talk to the Egyptians and beg them to do whatever it takes because we're starving. We need to live. We need food. So all the brothers began to come to Egypt. And they're looking for the man. Come on, brothers. All the brothers of Joseph coming back to Egypt. They're looking for food. Now they need help. Now can you imagine the humility on their faces now? Because when you come into bed, when you come into bed, you don't come looking tough. Go like this. You want to be as humble as you can. Look at the humility on their faces. Humility. They're humble. They have to come back, but they don't know who's in charge. They're expecting Pharaoh. But his right-hand man is running the place. Joseph. But now here's the kicker. Only Joseph knew who they were. They didn't know who their brother was. He recognized them. They didn't recognize him. And they came and they begged, and he didn't even let them beg long. You know, long for food. He said, don't worry, we'll take care of your needs. We'll give you all the food you need for your family. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. He knew who they were, but they didn't know who he was. At that moment, they had to come before him and beg him. That's part of the fulfillment of that dream. Because they had to come and beg him to give them food. They had to humble themselves to him. In a sense, to bow down to him because he was in charge. He had what they needed, the food and everything. And so as they asked him, he didn't do like I would have done. Boy, it would have been tough coming in. I would probably. You say you needed what? Kind of hungry there? I don't know, my shoes are a little dirty. You might want to get down on your knees a little bit. Where you guys? Really? I don't know if I have time for y'all. You talk to my secretary. I don't know. Let me think. You're hungry. Your father's name? Jacob? That sounds familiar. You know, because they didn't recognize him. You know, we would have really put them through the ringer. You all know we would have done it too. And we would have blessed him, but I sure would have made him work for it a little harder than what Joseph did. Joseph was an humble man. Thank God for that. He didn't make them really get down and beg like a lot of us would have done. Just to get them back. Remember how I gave my sister Cassandra? So you know I wouldn't get them like that. She had done nothing to me, so I would have really let them have it. And anyway, so Joseph, he sends them back. He says, as a matter of fact, go bring your whole family. Bring your father. Bring the whole family back. I'm going to take you all in. You're going to have food continuously. You'll never have to worry about anything. They went back and got their father. Go get your father, bring your cattle. The Bible says about 70 of them. 70 came back. Now that sounds like more than a family, you know. There must be some cousins in there. You know, when they started, I'm sure people, hey, Jacob, I'm your mama's first cousin on the brother daddy side. Because 70 people in the family is an awful lot of folks. People probably were just making themselves a part of the family. You know, that's what people are. You go and you send for 2 or 3, they bring the whole community. 70 people came back. I'm sure he wasn't thinking in terms of that many, but he received them all in, the daddy here, and then finally they all come. The daddy's so glad to meet him. Daddy got old, and finally this is the moment of truth. He hugged his father. They cried together. He tell all his brothers, I am Joseph. Can you imagine? Y'all listen. Oh my goodness. This is Joseph. The daddy thought he was dead all these years, but my son is alive. This is really him. And boy, can you imagine? Look on their faces. The brothers that had done wrong, sold him into slavery, lied to the daddy like he was dead. But now they got to be faced with Joseph, and they can't believe it. You fed us, you treated us so nice and kind. I can't believe it. After all we did to you. He received all his brothers in, gave him a hug. Give them all a hug. Let them know, I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. I still love you. And they all went and lived